Welcome back to Yang Daily. Let's get to the news. Evelyn will be participating in a live stream discussion between lawmakers and survivors tomorrow to promote the Adult Survivors Act legislation in New York. The Adult Survivors Act grants an extended period of time for adult victims of sex crimes to pursue justice in court. Senators Bennett, King, and Phillips have introduced a bill to provide $40 million of funding to local and state governments that wish to transition to ranked choice voting. They cite all the benefits we're familiar with, from votes better representing voters' real preferences, to more civil campaigns, to higher turnout, and so on. This would be a huge step forward for democracy, providing many states with the impetus they need to upgrade. In the continuing love fest for all things proposed by Andrew Yang, now that he's out of the race, the New York Times wrote an article proposing ranked choice voting as a superior alternative to our current primary system, which they rightly describe as just dumb. RCV and UBI seem to be blowing up everywhere. Scott tweeted the results of a recent UBI trial program in which 20 African American mothers were provided a basic income of $1,000 a month for 1 year. The headline results were that the percentage of participants preparing 3 meals a day went from 32% to 75%. Those able to pay their bills went from 37% to 80%. Those with a complete high school education went from 63% to 85%. And the collective predatory debt paid off was $10,000. The major uses for the money were transportation, education, housing, and debt relief. Or, as UBI doubters would say, nothing but drugs and leisure. 100% of participants said they had enough income to meet basic needs, had lower stress levels, saw an increase in positive family engagement, and felt more hopeful about the future. Just one more piece of evidence to stick in your back pocket for UBI. Scott also announced Broyhier's new fundraising goal of $100,000 by midnight Saturday. If you want to get UBI into Congress and Mitch McConnell out, so it actually has a chance of being voted on, this is the place to put your support. Paget Kagi conducted an interview with the founder of Fund for Humanity, which is currently backing the income movement. It's one of many interviews Paget has done over the past weeks, with major pillars of the Humanity First movement, all of which you can find on her YouTube channel. The LA Times put out an article today on Flippy, the robotic burger flipping arm being developed to replace fry cooks in fast food joints. It provided some valuable context. The cost of the arm has reduced from $100,000 in 2016 to just $10,000 today, a 10 times reduction in a mere 3 years. This is the rapid pace of advancement seen in technology that so many people fail to grasp when they doubt that automation can upend the economy in short order. Tech has a tendency to ramp up very quickly once it hits viability. This robotic arm costs a subscription equivalent of $3 an hour. How long do you think it will take fast food businesses to compare that to a human labor cost and come to the obvious conclusion? All the more so if the minimum wage is raised. This is one example, but it's indicative of what is happening all throughout the economy simultaneously. When it all starts popping at once, it's going to be brutal if we don't adapt in advance. Yang has hit 1.3 million followers on Twitter, with a large surge following the suspension of his campaign. If anyone was worried about the movement drying up, I think you can lay those fears to rest. We're only gaining steam. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Tune in to Evelyn's live stream, help Broyhier with his fundraising goal, check out Paget's interviews, sign up for the Humanity Organizing Corps, and don't forget to Yang Daily.